Welcome to the last day of June. It's June 30th, 2022. Your Day with a Podcast brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Cowboy State Daily has more original Wyoming news content than any news organization in the state. Cowboy State Daily, sign up for their daily newsletter and check them out on their Facebook page. It is going to be a bit cooler across the region today with shower and thunderstorm activity, especially in southern Wyoming, western Nebraska, and parts of Colorado, both in the mountains and on the plains. Some breezy areas near the showers and thunderstorms as well. So those areas have the best chance of rain and thunderstorms. There'll still be some down in Arizona and western New Mexico as well. Typical early July. I mean, it's textbook. For July 1 tomorrow through the July 4th weekend, we're going to have exactly what you'd expect this time of year. Warm temperatures, but not too hot, but pretty warm. And then some late day showers and thunderstorms to deal with. We do see the potential for some heat late next week and next weekend moving in as high pressure across the southern United States is going to vacillate east and west. And what that's going to do is cause some fluctuations in temperature and precipitation in the long term. Here's a nice shot from Marianne Smith in Torrington yesterday evening, getting ready for the 4th of July there. We're going to have lots of scenes like this over the coming days as sunset should be good with the variety of clouds you get after a round of afternoon and evening thunderstorms. Now that we're closing the books on June, this is how the month of June has gone in terms of temperature across North America. Anywhere you see orange or yellow, temperatures were above average for the month of June on a whole. Blue means they were cooler than normal. White means temperatures were right at average. Notice we have a bullseye of the warmest temperatures right over Nebraska and southeast areas of South Dakota there in this strip right here. Then we can really see the influence of the Gulf of Alaska up here in the Pacific Northwest and southern areas of Canada with those storms that rolled on through early in June, starting back really into April and May, starting really for early June with that Memorial Day weekend storm. If you compare a year ago, it's a lot different this month of June. The heat in the month of June was more in the central and southern areas of the United States, while the north was cool. Look at a year ago. This was a year ago. Look how hot it was in the interior west and the northern plains June of 2021. This is 2022. So a lot of a different flavor to the month of June this year compared to last. Today's satellite photo really tells today's story very well. What you want to look in these situations, you want to look for patterns. And here you can easily see that subtropical flow of moisture coming on up. Then under the high pressure ridge, you can see the really dry air. And then there's that ring of fire heading into the Midwest and Great Lakes. This is that funneling of moisture that we talked about yesterday over the cold frontal boundary that's backed up against the Front Range and Rockies. That's why today we're going to see some activity with showers and thunderstorms, most notable in this area right here today in that better area of moisture. And we do have some risk for a few strong thunderstorms, but the worst severe weather will be more towards the plain states and the upper Midwest. As we look ahead, this is by Thursday. High pressure gets itself established over Texas and Oklahoma again, and we're basically going to be set up for warm air coming out of the desert states, but also that subtropical moisture. So this is going to lead into that very typical July pattern of warm days, temperatures in the 80s and 90s, afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. On Saturday, basically it's the same pattern with the high there and the subtropical flow coming on up. Going out to Wednesday, notice there really isn't a huge difference in the pattern. And what that's going to do is lead to afternoon and evening thunderstorms. So I'm going to do what I did yesterday, kind of step you through where the best coverage of showers and thunderstorms will be as you plan your holiday weekend. You can see today the concentration of the best chances of rain in the southern counties of Wyoming, across Colorado, back into Wasatch, Utah, then back down into Arizona, then out into the plain states. The frontal boundary that came through yesterday has brought in some drier air, so you can see that up into central and northern Wyoming, in these areas here, very little activity today. But south of that boundary is where the thunderstorms and the showers are going to be. Now, as the moisture surges more to the north, notice the thunderstorm coverage on Friday does expand back into northern Wyoming and southern Montana again. And that arch of subtropical moisture is going to really be right along there. So this is Friday. This is Saturday. This is Sunday. Sunday could be a very active day of thunderstorms, especially along and east of the divide, but over the mountainous terrain as well. And then this is for the 4th of July, Monday. So you can see that as you get a little bit further west of the divide, the air is certainly a lot drier. So if you want less in the way of thunderstorm activity, head west of the divide, but you got to go out a little bit further back into the Great Basin states. The Intermountain West and the Rocky Mountain West will have active afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms this weekend. But it's one of those patterns where it's like clockwork. The mornings are nice and sunny. It's really nice and warm till mid to late afternoon. Then after 1 or 2 o'clock, you got to be ready for those late day showers and thunderstorms. And remember, the lightning safety tips we passed on to you late last week. You're going to want to keep those in mind as you head into the great outdoors this weekend. Now let's talk about long term. This is the heat I wanted to tell you about that we do see building. Once we get through this kind of routine early July weather through the middle of next week, late next week and next weekend, we see the high pressure ridge retreat to the west, retrograding more towards the Four Corners area. With the high pressure here, that kind of cuts off the better supply of moisture. It doesn't eliminate it, but it kind of cuts off the deeper moisture, and it also allows a lot of heat to build up. So what we're likely going to see is the weekend after this one could be quite hot. But will it stick? During the course of the summer, this high pressure ridge does usually go kind of back and forth. And that's what we see developing. After some hot weather late next week and next weekend and less rain, you can see the heat here by next Saturday across the interior west. However, by Monday and Tuesday of the following week, we're out here by July 11th and 12th, the high pressure goes back to the east, and basically the door here swings open, and as that door swings open, so does that subtropical moisture come back into the region. And this back and forth is really typical for a summer season. We'll see the high pressure go into the southern plains, the door opens to the subtropical moisture, rain chances go up, it migrates to the west, rain chances go down, and we heat up. That back and forth is what we're going to see as we go through the first 2 or 3 weeks of July. Have yourself a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.